Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, February 6th of 2022. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives to create a sustainable environment and a peaceful world. Today's topic, when my child hurts, I hurt. Even if you don't have children, but you have children in your life, or you see children in communities that are hurting, you know that the children are a part of our hearts. And especially, I don't want to deny, especially if you have had children of your own or children that you've raised or that you've helped to raise, they're a part of your heart. And that feels inseparable. And to try to separate it hurts. And to be with the pain that they experience hurts. When the child, I'll read the question as it was downloaded. This is again from the Answer is Love. Questions to explore as we transition into an era of peace. My children feel like a part of me. When they hurt, I hurt. When someone hurts them, I die inside. When they choose a path of pain, I feel I have failed. How can I cope with this pain? And again, just like the refineries I was talking about before the recording started, I just realized. But you know, it's easy to say, okay, here's where we are right now. This is the way things are right now. And then it's easy to, well, kind of easy, but easier to look at, all right, and when everything is unconditional love and peace and compassion, we're not going to have this pain anymore. So it's nice to imagine that way, right? But we don't know. We don't know what the experiences of life are going to be like. We don't know how we will experience the waves of consciousness when we're living in unconditional love and peace and compassion. We may still have the same waves and just be with them in a different way. We don't really know. But it's nonetheless, it's hard sometimes to say, how do we get, or to envision, how do we get from where we are now to living in that peace and unconditional love and compassion? How do we go from here to there? And so that's what this is about. How do we go from here to there? And the answer is to begin to live it now, and as best we can, to transition into it now, because all of the peace and the love and the compassion that we seek is here and available to us now. And as our world is shifting, it's going to be easier to hold it and maintain it and live in it. But it is nonetheless accessible to us now. So we can begin now, and that's what we're going to work with today. I'll tell you, as I was preparing for this meditation this morning. Every morning I do meditation, God willing. Excuse me. And this morning as I was doing my meditation, I heard my phone jingled, right? It was a text coming in. And I thought, okay, wait a minute. It's stupid early in the morning, and there's no way, unless it's an emergency, that someone is going to be contacting me at this hour. So I'll just stay in my meditative space and I'll get to that text later, right? But it kept tugging at me. And it's like, but what if it is an emergency? What if you need to check this? So I decided to check it. And the first in the little preview text there, the first thing I saw was all caps emergency. So I read the text, and it was from a beloved who's has an adult child in her life, or young adult child in her life, who is very dear to her heart and very close to her. And the child was experiencing a traumatic event in a distant city where she couldn't be with her to hold her and comfort her. And it was exactly as this question is today. When she hurts, I hurt. How can I be with myself? How can I be with her? How can we be in this pain? How can I help when I'm not there? It was all of these things of this question. And then I'll be honest with you and be transparent. So and just to give an update, I believe she is in a safe place. She is receiving care, and God willing, she is going to be okay. But I read afterwards, after we got through that, I went back and read this question and the response. And then I had to pray about it. And I even got out my pendulum and I said, do I need to edit this? Or is this really how this is supposed to come through? And I got, no, don't edit it. This is what came through. Be with it. So I had to sit in meditation with it for just a little while longer so I could really just find the continuity of compassion through the entire message, through what we live today, through the message that's coming through the questions that come in our hearts, and through the answers that we seek. And sometimes we have to do that, right? Stay in meditation and keep washing the heart, keep opening the heart to receive more and more of the divine guidance and the divine messages until we find that continuity of compassion. Stay in the conversation, stay in the questioning, stay in the inquiry long enough until that thread of compassion, that stream of compassion can move all the way through and connect all the dots. So again, God willing, that's where we're going today. So let's go ahead and come into our meditation and healing circle. Sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. And let's bring all of our focus and attention to the center. Eyes, ears, nose, mouth, throat, heart, solar plexus, belly, everything to face the center of the circle. And together let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your pure divine light. Excuse me. We ask you to send your essence of your pure divine light. And just imagine, perceive this pure divine light streaming into the center of our circle. And just feel this vibration shifting in your field if you can. Just feel the shift in vibration as this pure divine light streams in, and this purifying light can cleanse and purify your space. Cleansing and purifying your space. And allow this light to touch into your physical body, to travel through your eyes, through your ears, through your nose, through your mouth, and into all of your pores, and through your pores and into your nervous system, letting this pure divine light cleanse and purify all of the pathways at the border of your experience of your physical self. I've been loving the poem, the Rumi poem. These forms we seem to be are cups floating in an ocean of living consciousness. The form. There is a living consciousness within the form, and there is an ocean of living consciousness beyond the form that the form subsists in, the ocean we swim in. And there is but a thin border that is form. So let this light travel through that border and infuse the border and everything within it with this pure divine light. And all of the ways that this information travels in and out of this physical experience through the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, the pores of the skin, the nervous system. Let this pure divine light travel through all of those pathways and cross that border, that thin border, from the outer consciousness to the inner consciousness, cleansing and purifying, turning it all to pure divine light. And in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you, we ask you to send your vibration of your unconditional love. Just imagine, perceive, feel this vibration of pure, unconditional love as it streams into our virtual space. And I invite you to turn your heart center toward this pure, unconditional love. And let your heart center be like a funnel that extends from the front of your heart space, of your chest. And let this funnel tip up and receive this stream of unconditional love as it pours into the center of your heart, streaming all the way through your heart center. And, use your breath to breathe that in. Inhale through your heart center. Let your heart center be a breathing portal and draw this pure divine light and unconditional love in through your heart center as you inhale. And as you exhale, you can use your breath to release any of the tension, any of the clutter, any of the dust and the cobwebs from that portal of your heart center. That heart center is the portal through which the living consciousness enters and fills the cup, and through which you can travel between the worlds of the physical existence of individuality and the oneness with all that is. It is the dot. If you've been a part of the Aquarian shift meditations that we're doing, we've talked about that dot, that point between the inner world and the outer world, between the individuation and the one with all that is, between the oneness and the multiplicity. That dot, that door sill where the two worlds touch, that inner place at the center of your heart. So keep breathing that pure divine light and unconditional love through your heart center, and with each breath, release any of the clutter, and the next inhale, let it take you deeper and deeper into your heart center till you reach that point inside yourself where you can rest at that doorsill and witness. And again, let's call on our source in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. We call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your eternal compassion. And feel this vibration of compassion streaming into the center of our circle, surrounding and filling and containing and holding each and every one of us and our virtual space. This is the ocean of living consciousness. The pure divine compassion is the ocean of living consciousness. It is the cosmic womb of creation. Compassion. So breathe this in through your heart center and let this vibration of compassion, let it move across that doorsill of your heart center at the depth of your heart, and let it fill your feeling heart. Your heart is meant to feel. Let your heart feel compassion. Let your heart feel compassion as this wave travels across that doorsill at the depth of your heart. Sometimes it's easier to move into compassion when we feel compassion for others, or when we feel gratitude for something, it's like it just kind of activates the feeling within the heart. And our topic today is about the compassion that we feel for the children in our lives. And as we move into this era of peace and unconditional love, as we traverse this transition, there are a lot of children that need our compassion. When we talked about the love and the family unit and gender identity and gender roles and relationships, we were talking about love being what binds us. Like attraction draws us together. Love binds us as a family. And there will be a lot of children who need family and need help, who need the compassion and the love, who need to be a part of a unit, of a tribe. And this compassion is what gives us the guidance or the draw or the innate capacity. Capacity is the word I'm looking for. It gives us the innate capacity to love and care for each other in beautiful, unconditional ways, and really does draw us together as a tribe. And we are all cells of one body. We are all one. And we do come together in groups in order to care for each other and love each other. The children, they need to know we have their backs. They need to know we're there for them. They need to know we care about them. We love them. And of course, we care for our children. And that's why when they hurt, we hurt. When they experience pain, we experience pain. And so, let me go ahead and read. And as I'm reading this, I invite you to feel for your children. I also invite you to feel for your parents and the pain that they went through when you were a child and going through all that you went through. Whether it's, getting hurt on the playground, or someone rejecting you at school or in a relationship, or, the choices that you made that maybe weren't always the best choices. We all do that, by the way. We're here for that. This world we call this material realm is a trial and error, right? And we make a lot of mistakes, what we call mistakes, in the world of trial and error, because we're here to experience things that take us a little off course and then find our way back. We're here to experience separation and then return. And the separation part is what is very uncomfortable, but it's meant to be uncomfortable, and that's what guides us to return. Okay. So the question: my children feel like a part of me. When they hurt, I hurt. When someone hurts them, I die inside. When they choose a path of pain, I feel I have failed. How can I cope with this pain? The response: now you know how I love you and all of my creation. You are a part of me, more so than you can know. And I give you freedom to choose, to know me if you wish, to leave me, to return to me. It's like as if you give your own blood cells freedom of which way they can travel in your own body. Those cells are a part of you. How long could you survive if they chose to travel a different direction or forge a new pathway? How much pain would it cause you? And would they also suffer as a result of your suffering? Of course they would. Would those blood cells deliver the nutrients, eliminate the waste, be oxygenated, or release the carbon dioxide if they decided they didn't want to perform functions of their natural laws for which they were created? The whole of you would suffer and die. If a faction of cells decided they wanted to take up all the oxygen and leave the dirty waste product jobs to the others, could you survive? No. The whole would suffer, fall ill, and perish. It's all a part of one whole. Your children are a part of you, but they live in separate bodies. They are a part of me, and you are a part of me, as I am in you. We each have our own blood circulating within our bodies, but your health is imperative to my wellness. Your health is imperative to knowing yourself. You are love. And your child's health is imperative to knowing himself. He is love. She is love. They are love. You can discover love through the parts of yourself within your choice and control. You can discover love through the parts of yourself that are within your choice and control. And you can know love through the parts of yourself you cannot control. Those who make their own choices and have their own separate will. Each teaches us an aspect of love, but none is absent of love. I am in each and every one, every action, every choice. Know your heart. Know yourself. Know me through love. I love unconditionally. You are unconditional love, my breath, my spirit. You are unconditional love, the source, the breath of source, the one spirit. So let's take a minute and let that settle in. Again, breathing that compassion across that threshold within your heart and allowing your cup to rest into the ocean of eternal compassion, the cosmic womb of creation, the ocean of living consciousness. Rest into this as you breathe it in, as you drink it in, as you let it soak into your body. And know that you are held, that you are loved, that your children are held, and they are loved. And we are all cups of living consciousness floating within one ocean of living consciousness that comes from the breath of our source, from the spirit of our source, from the fluid existence of our source, coming into manifestation in the physical realm. The Rahman, the name for eternal compassion, for the compassion, is made of the sound codes Ra, which is the ray of light, the H, the breath of spirit, the M is the fluid existence, and the Nun is the manifestation. There is one ocean of manifestation, and within it many cups, one ocean, open cups of living consciousness. And we swim together in this ocean. And none is separate from the love of Source. None is separate from the being held and being contained and being loved. So continue to breathe this love and compassion through your heart. Breathe this love and compassion through your heart. And I invite you to open your heart. If you feel those places inside your heart that are hurting, that hurt when the child hurts, or those places that have been shut down because they can't take the pain anymore, allow those places in you to be surrounded in this unconditional love and this eternal compassion. Know that there is so much love and compassion for you. You are known, you are seen, you are witnessed, you are held. And let this compassion, let it move through your heart with your breath as you breathe into your heart center. Let it surround and hold these places of pain in your heart. And know that these places of pain in your heart are thirsty. They're like the sponge that your body is. They're thirsty for this love and compassion. And if you can, allow this love and compassion to seep into those places of pain in your heart and to fill those places. Sometimes it feels like your heart is breaking, it's cracking. And as the poet Rumi says, the crack is the place where the light gets in. If you feel that, let this water of eternal compassion and the mercy, let it seep in. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Let it seep in through those cracks. And let it fill that space of pain and emptiness inside of you. Let those places of pain and emptiness inside of you be filled with this water of compassion. And breathe it in. And allow this compassion to fill and fill and fill and fill and fill. The compassion is eternal. The love is eternal. Excuse me. It is unending. It is all-encompassing. Allow it to fill that space within you. Allow it to fill. And drink it in. Drink in that love and that compassion. As long as it takes until you are completely filled. And let that love and that compassion wash through. And know that if the pain lessens, like if it gets less and begins to dissipate, it doesn't mean that you care any less. It doesn't mean that you love any less. You are still here. You are still a part of your children and they are a part of you. It doesn't mean you're losing them or disconnecting from them. It's okay to receive the healing and the love. You can love them and love them and love them and allow your heart to expand and get bigger and create a larger container for them so that when they splash, it doesn't create quite the same level of turbulence in your ocean, the ocean of your heart. CD, my teacher, was once asked how he contains all of the people that he holds and contains and doesn't get taken off course by their actions. And he said, allow your heart to expand, to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it becomes You know, when we start out, sometimes it feels like the heart is constricted and there's just a little bitty puddle of water in it. And when something happens that causes pain and turbulence, it's like a big giant stone getting thrown into that little bitty puddle and splashing all of the water out. But if you can let your heart expand as this ocean of compassion is streaming in and nurturing your heart and loving your heart, allow your heart to expand. Allow your heart to get bigger. Allow the capacity of your heart to become fuller. And let this pure ocean water, ocean of eternal compassion, ocean of living consciousness, let it stream into your heart, filling your heart with unconditional love and compassion. And as your heart gets bigger, the drops that splash into your heart that create ripples and waves and turbulence become like the pebbles. A pebbles in an ocean as opposed to a big stone in a little pond. It doesn't mean you care less about the pebbles. You can care for them and love them every bit as much, if not more. You can contain them and hold them. Give them their space and their freedom while holding and containing them in this immense and powerful love and compassion. This is the compassion, acceptance, the love, the forgiveness. It contains all of that. So allow your heart to expand. Breathe in that ocean of eternal compassion. And let your heart fill with this eternal compassion as it expands and expands and expands, and become the ocean of compassion. As your heart expands, allow yourself to drop into the center of your heart and land into the depths of your heart, and land on that doorsill between the worlds where the inner meets the outer, where the outer meets the inner. Let your heart expand and fill with compassion. Let the compassion wash and heal your pain, heal your wounds. Let your consciousness drop into the center of your heart and rest there and receive those waves of compassion, letting your heart expand and fill and expand and fill and expand and fill. And hold your children. Imagine your children as the pebbles that are, or the cups that are floating in the ocean of your heart. And your heart is bigger. So when their cups move about within the ocean, they are like pebbles dropping into the ocean, or even the grains of sand. They are contained within the ocean. They are held by the ocean. They are loved by the ocean. The ocean is full of compassion for them. The love is not less. The compassion is not less. It is even more, because your heart can remain open and expanded. And they have space and freedom. You can't make their choices for them. But we can know that they are on an intentional path, and they are contained within the ocean of living consciousness. They are being held, they are being loved, they are being guided, even if it becomes too painful for your heart and your heart has to shut down. But I invite you to stay with your heart and give love and compassion and mercy to your heart and continue to receive this ocean of eternal compassion into your own heart to receive the compassion for yourself. Right? We can't give from an empty cup. We can't give what we don't have. So receive the compassion for yourself, for your own heart. And let it fill, let it fill, let it fill, let it fill, and let it flow. And breathe through your heart. Breathe, receive, and let it land into your core. And if there is a part of your heart that is wrestling with the pain that you may have caused to your parents and the pain that they experienced from loving you and feeling love and compassion for you as you were a child, I invite you at this time to offer this same compassion to your parents. Offer the same compassion to their parents with a prayer that their hearts also be filled with this ocean of compassion, and that their pain be washed, and that their wounds be healed. And we ask for their forgiveness. And let that love and compassion flow through your cup into their cup. And know that you are a cup, a small cup within their ocean, as well as your children are a small cup within your ocean. And we are all cups within one ocean. So let the forgiveness flow in whatever direction it may need to flow. You can call on the divine name of Tawwab. Tawwab. And that starts with a T, like in Tom. Tawwab. And ends with a B, like in boy. Tawwab, with W's in the middle. Tawwab. Tawwab. And that is if you break it into, it's the returning, it's the receiver of repentance, it's the forgiving. It is, if you break it into the sound codes, the T is like from the mystery, the W is like the all-encompassing, and the B is that focal point, that eye of the needle, if you will, where I love it when insights come through. That eye of the needle, like when the mystery guides us through this world of all-encompassing, back through that eye of the needle, through that focal point where we travel between the worlds, between the world of multiplicity and into the world of unity, the unity of being, the unconditional love. We go back through the eye of the needle and we leave all of the multiplicity behind. The Tawwab is the return, means to return. It is the receiver of repentance, and to repent is to return. A Tawwab. Tawwab takes us back to that origin point through the eye of the needle to return to the ocean of oneness. The unity with the all that is a Tawwab. So we offer the Tawwab. 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 And you can perhaps feel that connection from your child's heart through your heart to your parent's heart. There's like a continual thread of existence there. And we all float in one ocean. So again, even though the connection is still there, Let the ocean flow all the way through the connection and the connection points and through the hearts and through the ocean all around us, washing everything with the compassion and the mercy and the forgiveness. Tawab, Tawab, Tawab. To return, to pass through the eye of the needle, the origin point, to be one with the all that is. Tawab. And take a deep breath in, receive that into your heart. And as you exhale, let your conscious body drop back into your physical space, like your conscious heart or your heart center. Let your conscious body drop back into your body, leaning against your spine. And as you exhale, just let yourself drop down and land into your hips. Really ground into your body and be kun faya kun, be the love, be the compassion, be the forgiveness, be the mercy, be the acceptance, be the unconditional love. And let that move all the way through your hips, down your legs, and all the way into your feet, connecting you in with the Mother Earth, in with this 3D material experience. You can let it move out through your shoulders, through your arms, through your wrists and hands and fingers. Be a part of the 3D experience. Though you are a cup of living consciousness, floating in an ocean of living consciousness, and in reality you are the living consciousness, not the cup. More so than the cup. All right. And with that, I want to open for any sharing or discussion. I'm going to end the recording and open for the Q&A. If you're listening to the recording, you're invited to join us live on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. You can find information for joining us live at joyfullylivingwellness.com or communityforconsciousliving.com. communityforconsciousliving.com. You can find information for joining us live there. And while you're there, you can get your copy of the 10 Spiritual Principles of Our Human Existence, which is a one sheet that reminds us of the truth of who we are and what we are and why we're here, what this world is about, what this life is about. And it comes with a 15-minute guided meditation to help you to connect with this ocean of eternal compassion, of unconditional love and divine light within yourself and all around you. Right. And with that, I thank you very much for being here. Hope to see you next week, ending the recording and opening for any Q&A.